Hey, Juice, let me know, sir.
Pothole in the street, fork in the road. Shit I seen with my eyes just forced me to grow. Like my grandpa cooking crack on a spoon. I'm from where if you don't sell it, then you use. Dropped out of school, I had to play the streets. Granny said they shooting up the street, she don't know it's me. Life cheap, I made a fortune off a home invasion. Trey ate across his face, he know I ain't playing. I ain't leaving empty-handed, I remember coming home late nights with empty cannons. Now I make these devils cry when we hold camp. The only place you'll get respect, you kill that old man. Straight up. Look, I took the narrow path. I'm certified in this shit, but my apparel black. We don't walk the same walk, I'm aware of that. You never seen a nigga serve the Lord, what you staring at?
If you wanna take this walk, it's a long road. You gotta bear that cross, it's a long road. And put away that sin, it's a long road. Enduring to the end, it's a long road. If you wanna take this walk, it's a long road. You gotta bear that cross, it's a long road. And put away that sin, it's a long road. Enduring to the end. As I creep in the Camry, I let the song blast. Reminiscing of the time I walked the wrong path. Hitting licks, did whatever just to get the bread. Dropped out of school cause I chose to sell crack instead. Yeah, I was head first with a red shirt. Let them see the flag, smoking all day. You could say I was breathing gas. Used to kick those, no COVID, I ain't need a mask. Almost getting caught by the laws, heart beating fast. I thought I was destined to live this life forever. Got in class and my life changed for the better. I remember the days I used to wear a cross. Now I'm one west, so I got a better cross. I'd be dead or in jail if it wasn't for the truth. That's a miracle, no need for further proof. Endure is the goal as I grow old, but I got a ways to go, cause it's a long road. If you wanna take this walk, it's a long road. You gotta bear that cross, it's a long road. And put away that sin, it's a long road. Enduring to the end, it's a long road. If you wanna take this walk, it's a long road. You gotta bear that cross, it's a long road. And put away that sin, it's a long road. Enduring to the end, it's a long road.
Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with? In this war, I let the song play. Bitch, I had a long day. Fuck your family photos and the pictures in the hallway. Cut the please short, cause I don't fuck with you the long way. All we got 4 middle fingers in the concave. We don't got no sympathy, no remorse or no empathy. Age 30 something, but spirit been here for centuries. 40 got me limping like I was nursing the injury. I just be the same on both sides, yeah, that symmetry. Suckers moving lateral, I just move for capital. I just want that bag and holding rap as collateral. Sucker nigga stay calm, Draco shooting napalm. Pop up anywhere on you rappers just like I'm State Farm. Fuck it, I'm with all states, cause I bring that mayhem. Anywhere that guy go, homie better pay him. I ain't got that time for for it. I ain't rocking time for it. I just keep my cover in a shield with a lion on it. Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with? No, really, I ain't that guy that you should try. I'm that type look you in the eye before you die. Niggas dressing like top models for Calvin Klein. Me, I'd rather pop top bottles, have all the shine. Couple bad bitches to grind up on my nine. Tryna figure how to multiply your dollar sign. Shit, I done had some close calls in these streets. I done made it out the mud and got it all squeaky clean. Light skin in the game, tryna balls at Levine. What you mean? Ain't no lean, only Hennessy is funny. And I'm coming with the drip off the top. Let's get this money. Motherfuckers think it's funny till I'm tripping, getting clumsy. Cause I need my dough up, I'm lit and I'm tryna go up. I'm on the wave, so I roll up and throw up soon as I show up. Cause I been with the shooters, the shakers, and all the movers. 50 cal with the ruler, turn your block to Fallujah. Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with?
Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers think you playing with? You ain't saying shit. Dozen Hebrews with the K's equipped. Get the slaying shit. Who you playing with? Who you playing with? Who you suckers playing with? Who you playing with?
Yeah. 140 yeah. Yeah.
But the Rex get to it. Ain't taking no slack, get to it. You took a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed, I can prove it. Whoa, we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cowards, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Ay.
I don't care what they talking. All I want is my Porsche. I'ma ride up clean. Look at me, I'm a false one. Kill them off like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it. I'm all about my profit. I'm shooting off like a rocket.
Who about to blow these niggas out the water? He go harder, go harder. Steph Curry, fourth quarter. All I got is my niggas. All I fear is my father. All I bring is that slaughter. Bomb on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he alive. If he real, who am I? Now his ass in the fire. UPK till I die. Please don't cross the line. Try to stop and stop trying. Bomb shop is bomb wide. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Double time and believe. You ain't harming me, nigga. I brought a whole army of niggas. So I ain't move with precision. Follow every order given. Let's get to it. Make it on the race, get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You took a loss, try to bounce back, but you blew it. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed, I can prove it. One war, we can do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no cows, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it.
You hear the truth that I'm speaking? Lot of hate for no reason. Probably don't understand. That's why I got the master plan. And all the power in my hand. I sling the shit on demand. You better watch where you stand. Just get flamed up and ain't changing up for nobody.
That warfare, what you know about it? This ain't a rap, this a message. And it will be respected. Fake niggas like a virus. Lot of niggas infected. I came to correct it. Bought a whole bunch of soldiers. They move at my discretion. When the rebels
Mic is up. There we go. All right.
Back on. Allow you for the technical difficulty. First priest. Present thy registry.
Lakam Yalla, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Lakam Yalla, Banya Howda, Banya Shrala.
Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shabrakatham.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashabrakatah.
Laya Shala.
Aja, stand. Upon up and down, and turn face to the east. You're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kwadah. Hayah. Shimka. Yahweh. Malawaka. Dama'ah. Rasazai. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazai. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Come. Cow. Your walk. What's the luck now? Come what's now? Kasalaki now. Come away now. Double yay now. One side one. Ball. How was shine now? My young. Right. Kaya. Your cup. Amalakwa. What the power. I would love you. I'm one.
In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory. Forever. So be it.
Cut the power in the Hebrew.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem. Yahweh. Baba Kashab. The thunder now. Hakat. There for us. Call Makallah. Call Matawah. Hakat. That's a heart. Right. Hakat. Lahaki. Hamaki. Hakat. The Tamahala, the Garshon, the what I'm on. In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sick. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. There's an Israel. The name of God. To the name of Lord. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. Barakah now. Wayasal. Bahabayah. Sapariah. Barak. Rapah. Magad.
The house of Sakar. The house of Sakar. Camille Kincaid. Francine Williams. Kimball Brown. Entire Anderson family. Entire Lucky family. Entire McAllister family. Done.
The house of Sakar.
The house of Sakar.
The Wilcox family.
The Wilcox family.
The Weaver family.
The Weaver family.
The Parker family.
The Parker family.
And the Riley family.
The Riley family.
Done.
The Sarah family.
The Sarah family.
The Phillips family.
The Phillips family.
All Israel.
All Israel.
The Jackson family.
The Jackson family.
The Jenkins family.
The Jenkins family.
And all of Israel.
And all Israel.
Done.
The Beasy family.
The Beasy family.
The Shackelford family.
The Shackelford family.
The Williams family.
The Williams family.
Done.
Done.
The Hogan family.
The Hogan family.
The Nelson family.
The Nelson family.
The Reese family.
The Reese family.
Done.
By Shimmy Havashai.
By Shimmy Havashai.
The Word of
The Word of in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Havashai.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
In the name of Havashai.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayaya.
Ayaya.
Al-Hahari.
Al-Hahari.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isari.
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 Ma'ai.
Ma'ai.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Wa'aratisa.
Wa'aratisa.
Ayathan.
Ayathan.
Number one.
Number one.
Regard.
Regard.
Al-Yalawah.
Al-Yalawah.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Hanala'ah.
Hanala'ah.
Yalawah.
Yalawah.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yashun.
Yashun.
Shalomar.
Shalomar.
Yasha'al.
Yasha'al.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamar.
Shamar.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazar.
Tazar.
Al-Yeh.
Al-Yeh.
Yunus.
Yunus.
Yawamah.
Yawamah.
Hashemah.
Hashemah.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yekai.
Yekai.
Wayarah.
Wayarah.
Belayallah.
Belayallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Korah.
Korah.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Abdul
Pasha.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Taza'at.
Taza'at.
Wawa'at.
Wawa'at.
Ma'ida.
Ma'ida.
Wa'ai.
Wa'ai.
Our Lord.
Allah. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes to the hill.
I will lift up mine eyes to the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
My help cometh from the Lord.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going
The
out
Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time forth
From this time forward,
and even forevermore.
even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayah.
Alahayah.
Al-Dabayah.
Al-Dabayah.
Al-Dakarah.
Al-Dakarah.
Like Al-Dabayah.
Al-Dabayah.
All.
All.
Dakarah.
Dakarah.
Al-Dashakwat.
Al-Dashakwat.
All.
All.
Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Wadi.
Awadika.
Yahamah.
Yahamah.
Yawan.
Yawan.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Anak.
Al-Hanika.
Yarayamu.
Yarayamba.
Sawadah.
Sawadah.
Wayadah.
Wayadah.
Your eyes has a what?
Your eyes has a what?
I'll tell you the way.
I'll tell you the wonderful.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Like a what?
Like a what?
What a cock get done.
What a cock you done.
Magoya.
Magoya.
Wala
Wala'ah.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Shum, yes, sir.
Shum Yasha'ala.
I would duck.
I would duck.
Kaya.
Kaya.
No eyes has a what?
Your eyes has a what?
The book.
Labah.
Yikana.
Yakadwa.
Aya.
Anika.
Goya.
Arya.
Yakurat.
Yakurak.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Adawa.
Adawa.
Wayashamai.
Wayashamai.
Adayam.
Adayam.
Mawa'am.
Mawa'am.
Wahagori.
Wahagori.
The ball.
The ball.
Wa'am one.
Wa'am one.
Wa'am
Wa'amalak.
Halasha.
Halasha.
I'm Yishai.
Al Yushabi.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
God Ashawar.
God Ashawar.
Now what?
Now what?
I
love.
what?
I what?
Zero what?
Zero.
The bunny.
The bunny.
The what?
The what?
Salah.
Salah.
I shall.
I shall.
The home.
The home.
Kamani.
Kamani.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Kayabi.
Kayabi.
On the call.
Barakal.
Kwayashawan.
Kwayashawan.
Nasamani.
Nasamani.
Mayan.
Mayan.
The herb.
The herb.
Hayawat.
Hayawat.
The man.
The man.
The Adam.
Alawat,
Alahayah,
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 Sayadamba,
Sayadamba,
Gogala,
Gogala,
Kwa,
Kwa,
Yapani,
Yapani,
Rawaka,
Rawaka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Shabaira,
Kabaira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wakalahaba,
Wakalahaba,
Kalahat,
Kalahat,
Hariyah,
Hariyah,
Khan,
Khan,
Yawadak,
Tarawadakma,
Wasaira,
Wasaira,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapan,
Wapapa,
Dabahalam,
Kabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaha,
Panyaha,
Quadawan,
Quadawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Wakwas,
Wakwas,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabas,
Yabaswa,
Waya,
Waya,
Behold,
Behold,
Ayah,
Ayah,
Waya,
Waya,
Kapar,
Kapar,
Waya,
Waya,
Abad,
Abad,
Waya,
Waya,
Ya'ir,
Ya'ir,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ada,
Ada,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabad,
Lebanon,
Ayawan,
Ah, Kaf,
All right.
in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
Be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies
thy enemies
make a tumult.
make a tumult.
And they that hate thee
And they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted
And consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
come
come,
and let us cut them off
let us cut them off
from being a nation.
from being a nation.
That the name of Yahshua
That the name of Yahshua
may be no more remembered.
may be no more remembered.
But they have consulted together
But they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom
Tabernacle of
and
Edom
the Israelites
and the Israelites
of Moab
Moab
and the
and the
Hagarenes,
Hagarenes,
the Baal
Baal
and Ammon
and Ammon
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur is also joined with them.
Assur is also joined with them.
They have opened the children of
They
Lot.
have opened the children's lives.
Salah,
Salah,
do unto them
do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as unto Sarah,
as to Japheth,
as unto Ben,
at the brook of Kishon,
at the brook of Kishon,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became a dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like a red,
and like Zahel.
like the head.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes,
all the princes,
as Sabbath,
as the bar,
and as Zamun,
and as the moon,
who said,
who said,
let us take to
let
ourselves
us take to ourselves
the house of Yahweh
the
possession.
house of Yahweh possession.
Hold my power,
Hold my power,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wind,
as the stubble before the
as
wind,
the stone before the wind,
as the fire burneth the
as
wood,
the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on
and
fire.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy temper,
with thy temper,
and make them
and
afraid
make them afraid
with thy
with
stone.
thy stone.
Fear their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be
let
confounded
them be confounded
and troubled forever.
and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high
the Most High
over all the earth.
over all the earth.
Third, Sabbath, be seated.
The book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 1 of the Hebrew. Wayah. Mayum. Wayah.
Quantas of y'all? As a young. Were you required? Shamasuan. Ah. A Shafua. Bagadia. I, as a young. Were you more? Above. Oh. A Shafia. A Kadra. Wala. Nothing to what? Up a year. Level what? Verse 2. Where you more? Up a year. A more. A Martha year. Kaya. Chanel. Shanatha. Shanatha. What third enough? Lamar Cup. Lamar. Hello. A Katha. Quatana. So above. Mama no. Saya. No. Luck. The copy. Verse 3. Where you more? La home. Shamashuan. Nakoyapia. Papayam. Mapalashapiam. Kaya. Aisha. Anaya. I'm Raya. Verse 4. Where you lot. Shamashawan. Where you lakad. Shalash. Mawat. Mawat. Shawa Alayon. Where you quack. Lapadium. Where you pun. Zanab. Oh. Zanab. Where you shown. Lapayad. Akkad. Bayan. Shanayad. Hazabawat. With the walk. Verse 5. Where you buy bar. Where you buy a yard. Where you buy a yard. Ash. Yadium. Where you shalak. Baquam what? Baquam what? Pelashapium. Where you buy yard. Magadayash. Wa'ai. Kwama. Wa'ai. Karam. Zayat. Verse 6. Where you Amar one. Where you Amar what? Pelashapium. Maya. Aisha. Za'at. Where you Amar Shamashwan. Kathayan. Kathan. Hathamanaya. Kaya. Laquak. Atha. Ashatawa. ويتناب لما رأيه ويعلو كل شاكيم ويشاركه I was up. What up? Up a yup. Vasha, verse 7. What the mark? Lahum. Shemashwan. The Ashawan. Kaza'at. Kaya. Nakwamafia. Become. Wakar. Akadal.
All right. And in the English, so to pick up where we left off last week, to refresh everybody, Samson was at a feast or whatever. I think it's his wedding ceremony. And the Philistines came because, you know, Delilah, his wife, it was a Philistine. You know what I mean? And Samson had a lust for strange flesh, for heathen women. He didn't want the women of Israel. He wanted African women. He wanted the Philistine woman. You know what I mean? He saw her, force his father and mother to go and get her and marry her and all that other stuff. And the Philistines came and he gave them a riddle for them to solve. And he had made a bet with them. If you solve this riddle, and if I solve the riddle, y'all give me, 40 garments and 40 pieces of cloth. You know what I mean? Basically, it's a valuable thing. You know what I mean? 40 valuable pieces of cloth. And if I lose, I give you the same thing. You know what I mean? It was a money bet. You know, back it was for some expensive items. So they went off and they grabbed his wife up, got in her ear, threatened her. You know what I mean? Told her, seduced her to answer the riddle out of your husband. You know what I mean? Give us the answer. You one of us. You're not one of them. You're one of us. So help us, or we gonna burn your house down, kill your parents. You know, they threaten, we're gonna kill you, kill your parents, burn your house down. You know what I mean? So what his wife did, what Delilah ended up doing, is going to Samson and crying and wailing every single day. Oh, you don't love me. You must not love me. You won't tell, you got this riddle and you won't even tell me the answer to it. Even I don't know, only you know the riddle. You don't love me. After a while, Sam, like any man, you get tired of your wife in your ear every single day, battling with whatever. So he submitted to her and told her the answer to the riddle. And what do you think she did? She went.
She went back to tell her people what it was.
That's exactly what she did. She betrayed Samson. She betrayed her husband, freshly married, and ran to the Philistines and told them the answer to the riddle so they could cheat her husband. And when Samson found that out, he got mad. And said, the only way you could do that, only way you knew the answer is because you spoiled my heifer, which means you pressed on my wife to get the answer. He knew what they did. And Samson, he made him pay for that. You know what I mean? His anger was kindled, as it said, and he went up to his father's house. And then they took his wife and gave it to his companion, his friend. You know what I mean? So she went to her father's house. They took her and sent her to her father's house after Samson snapped and snapped on them. You know what I mean? Did he slay them? Yeah, so he slayed them for cheating him. And so the Philistines took his wife and took her to her father's house and sent her back to her father. And then they gave her to another man. So not only did she betray her husband, from what it seems in the scriptures, she also whored on him with another man. You know what I mean? This is a valuable lesson in the story about not marrying heathen women. So let's pick up in the English. Go ahead.
Come. The book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 1. And it came to pass within a while after, in the time of the wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid. And he said, I will go into my wife into the chamber. But her father would not suffer him to go in.
So Samson came with a kid, with basically, you know, a peace offering, you know what I mean, a sacrifice offering or whatever, you know. And he was like, I'm about to go into my wife's chamber. I'm about to go tear fire from my wife. That's my woman. I'm going to go in that chamber and I'm going to take my woman. But her father was like, no. Her father blocked, you can't do it. No, he refused to let him in. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 2. And her father said, I verily thought that thou hast utterly hated her. Therefore, I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her.
So he said, man, after she betrayed you and you went and enslaved the men, after she tricked you and they tricked you, he's like, I thought you hated her. I didn't think you wanted anything to do with it. See, we have the law of no divorce. The heathens, they divorce and throw their women away all the time. So he's like, man, I thought you was done with her. So I gave him to your boy. You know, the dude that you call your friend, the one you hang around all the time, I gave him to him. You know, so now she's his woman. You know what I mean? And if she had any type of loyalty to Samson, number one, she wouldn't have betrayed him. Number two, she would not have laid with another man. So this is automatically showing you this woman's character, these heathen women's character towards you. You know what I mean? And Samson's lust toward heathen women. That's why we should not lay with women of another nation. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 3. And Samson said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. Mm-hmm. Verse 4. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails.
So he went out and caught 300 foxes, grabbed them, tied their tails together, and tied a firebrand, which is like a flaming, a brand, I think like a branding iron, but he tied a firebrand, which is going to cause a fire. It's a hot iron rod. You know what I mean? And tied that in between the tails of the foxes. He tied their tails together and then tied firebrands in between. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 5. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyard of the oils, with the vineyards and oils and olives.
So he, like I said, he tied the firebrands in between all them foxes and tied the foxes' tails together. And then he set the brands on fire and let the foxes run through their fields and completely burn their crops down. So like I said, he burned up their corn, the vineyards, and the olives. And you know what I mean? So he's avenging himself on the Philistines for doing him wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's back then, that's a healthy price right there. That could cause your village to starve. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely going to affect your money, whatever your trade is. So Samson is he's exacting his revenge on the Philistines for deceiving him and taking his woman. Go ahead.
Come. Then the Philistines said, who have done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Temanite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire.
So his wife, his Philistine wife, you know, the father said, look, I gave that woman away, her younger daughter, my younger daughter, her younger sister is prettier than she is. Why don't you take her? Samson refused. He burned down their fields. So to get revenge, the Philistines was like, all right, he did this because of her, because the father was good. All right, so they went and it said they burnt her and her father with fire. So it sounds like either they threw them into the fire or they burned their house down around. That's what it sounded like to me. Go ahead.
Come. And Samson said unto them, though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you. And after that, I will cease.
He said, basically you done messed up now.
Right.
First y'all tricked me. Then you got my wife war on me. Now I go back to get her. You know what I mean? And I revenged myself on you, but now y'all killed my wife and her dad. He said, I'm gonna get even. He said, I'm gonna revenge myself. I'm gonna get my vengeance, and once I'm done, then I'll stop. Basically, he just declared war on them. All right, next 7 verses in Hebrew, Mariah.
Judges 15, verse 8, Hebrew. Well, Yah, our thumb, Shawak, Al, Iraq, Makah, Gadawallah, Rod, Shub, Basa Ayah, verse 9, Iowa, Kalashiyat, Kalash the young, Kanu, Howard, not shut, not sure. Balakiyah, verse 10, Amarwa, Ayash, Howard, Lahum, in the mud. Ayathum, Alayanwa, Amarwa, La Asawar, Shemashawan, Ayanwa, La Aishawak, the Wub, Shar, Aishub, La Wub, verse 11, Radwa, Shalashah, Alapayam, Ayash, Mayahawad, all, Sayat, Salai, Aratum, Amarwa, the Shalawan, Hala'ah, Yada'ai, Kayah, Mashal, the young, Banya, Banawa, Palashadam, Wama, Za'ah, Aishiyah, Lanawa, Amar, Lahum, Shar, Aishwa, Laya, Khan, Aishiyatia, Lahum, 12, Amarwa, Lawa, La Asarak, Yeridam, the Tatak, Kaya, it's like a Bayad, Palashit the young, Amar, Lahum, Shemasuan, Hashaba Iwa, Lawa, Pun, Defaga Iwan, Kaya, Athum, verse 13, Amarwa, Lawa, La Amar, La Kaya, Asar, La Asarak, Wanatanawak, Bayadam, Wahama, La'a, Namayat, Namayata, Waya Sar Hawa, Bashanayam, Abatayam, Karashayam, Waya Adawa, Hawa, Man, Hasalai, verse 14, Hawa, I, Lakaya, Wapalash, the young, Haraiwa, the Kora Atawa, Watata Salat, Aliwa, Rawat, Yahweh, Wata Aya Jana, Wata Yayana, Fat the young, Ashar, Al, Zara, I, Wadiwa, Kashapat the young, Ashar, what? Kaash, Williamasima, Asa warrior, Ma'al, Yada what?
The book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 8 in English. And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter. And he went down and dwelled in the top of the rock of Etam.
So the Philistines that killed his wife and her father, that burnt them up, so Samson smote them. Go ahead.
Come, verse 9. And the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lahai. And the men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he hath done to us.
Right. So they came down to Judah and basically brought an army down to the land, to Judah. You know what I mean? And the brothers in Judah were asking, like, what we do? Why you bring his army? You know what I mean? And they said, look, we came to do to Samson what he did to us. Samson killed some of our people, so we came to kill Samson. That's basically what they said. Go ahead.
Come, verse 11. And 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock, Etam, and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them.
So basically, 3,000 men went up to Samson and said, man, don't you know that they are masters? We under their captivity. You know what I mean? Kind of what we get when we in the streets. You know what I mean? That Samson was stirring up trouble. And they's like, look, man, don't you know they rule over us? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? And he said, look, I'm just paying them back. Samson wasn't afraid. You know what I mean? Samson, you know, even though that's why I said the Lord saw this occasion to rise up against the Philistines. You know what I mean? He let this happen. So Samson could start this uprising, you know what I mean, against the Philistines and do what he's doing. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves.
So they said, look, man, we came to arrest you. You know what I'm saying? To bind you, that back then they used to, like nowadays we got handcuffs. Back then they would literally bind you. They would tie you up with a rope. You know what I mean? And lead you down to wherever you were in captivity. So they tied him. He said, look, fine, I'll let you bind me, but promise me that y'all won't be the ones that fall. You know, fall on me means to attack. You know what I mean? Or try to kill me. Promise me y'all won't be the ones that come to try to take my life. Y'all won't. He basically said, don't lay a hand on me. Promise me that you, my brothers, won't lay a hand on me. Go ahead.
And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hands. But surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock.
So they said, no, we promise we won't touch you. We just look, man, we just came to arrest you. You know what I'm saying? We just came to bind you up. We just came to tie you up and take you to the Philistines. We're not going to touch you. We're not going to kill you. We're going to keep our hands off of you. And so he let them bind them up with 2 new cords, as it says. So as I said, they didn't, like nowadays we got handcuffs. Back then they would take cords, basically ropes, and bind your hands and wrap it around so you wouldn't get away. All right, go ahead.
Come, verse 14. And when he came unto Lahai, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosened from off his hands.
So when he came down, the Philistines got all rowdy. They yelling and screaming at him, you know what I mean? Shouting at him, probably cursing at him. And Samson, like you said, he got mad. You know what I'm saying? And we all know when people talk about the strongest men, Samson is always mentioned as the world's strongest man. You know, men will come and talk about there's 2 names that when you think of the world's strongest man, with Samson and Hercules. And I'm telling you, Hercules was developed off of Samson. You know what I mean? So Samson was known to be the strongest man, physically strongest man in the world that ever lived. So Samson got mad, and it said that the binds that were on his arm turned like flax that was burned in a fire. That's like wax. You know what I mean? Basically, they just snapped. They melt. He broke them. They melted off of them like they were nothing. They just, you know what I mean? So let's get the next. Let's finish this chapter. 3, 4, 5, 6. Mariah, you do the Hebrew. Look, you finish it off in the English.
Judges chapter 15, verse 15, the Hebrew. When you went to the up, like yeah, come a war. Tar we are shalak, yada what? We are kukad, we yak, Allah, Yas, verse 16, we are Amar, Balakaya, come a war, Rut the young, Balakaya, come a war, Hakayatia, Allah, Ayas, verse 17, where you Kakalakua, not a bar, where you Shalak, Halakaya, where you had a what, where you Korah, Lamakawan, Hawa, Ramah, Lakaya, verse 18, where you Tazamah, Ma'ad, where you Korah, all, Yahweh, where you Amar, Athab, Nathaf, Bayad, Abadat, Hatashu, Wa'ayah, Hagarla, Haza'at, Wa'ayda, Amawat, Batazamah, Renapalatia, Bayad, Hayar, the young, verse 19, where you be quiet. Allah young. Hamakatash, Ashar, Balakaya, where it tells a word. Mama the word. Mayam, where you shot. What the shot. Roa Kawa. Where you Kaya, Al, Khan, Korah, Shema, Ayan, Korah, Ashar, Balakaya, I, Hayawam, Hazab, verse 20, Uyashapat, Yasharala, Uyamaya, Palashat Young, Aishayu, Shana, Judges chapter 17, chapter 16, verse 1. Uyalak, Shemashawan, Isaac, Uyara'ah, Shum, Ashah, Zamana, Uyabah, Aliyah.
The book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 15 in the English. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith.
Everybody's heard this story. It's the famous Samson story. Now, he found a jawbone, a new jawbone. That means it was freshly decayed off of an ass that died there. You know what I mean, in that valley. So he found a brand new jawbone, took it, and slew 1,000 men with it by himself. You know what I mean? That just goes to show you the Lord said 1,000 will fall at that side. You know what I mean? Samson was the living proof of that prophecy that the Lord said, well, if he is behind us, no one can stop us. Look what that man did. He slew 1,000 men by himself. And we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, we can do the same. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
So what you bring us so heavy is that it says in the book of Genesis about the different races, mainly the blacks and the white man, black man and the so-called white man. They said one shall be stronger than the other one. Like in the wars, Hitler, they had to take those men, they took a lot of drugs to make them like stronger and had to ready for the war.
Right.
We don't have to take none of that. All we got to do is be ourselves and follow the Lord.
Right. Go ahead, Tom.
Verse 16. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps to heaps, with the jawbone of an ass, have I slain 1,000 men.
He said heaps upon heaps. I mean, that's saying bodies upon bodies. Right. You know, with the jawbone of an ass, body upon body, I slayed, heaps on heaps. They came flooding down on Samson. Right. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, man, they just kept coming. I slayed 1,000 of them. Body on body, heap on heap. I mean, go ahead.
And when it had came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramathalah. And he was sore athirst, and called on the Lord, and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hands of thy servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised. Verse 19. But the Most High clave an hollow place, that was in the jaw. That was in the jaw, and there came water thereout.
So basically, after Samson, because you just slayed 1,000 men, you better believe you thirsty. You know, he is human after all. He didn't just slay him and walk home like, yeah, I did it. He was tired. That's hard work right there. You know what I'm saying? And he said, man, I'm thirsty. And he was dehydrated, basically. You know what I mean? And then he prayed to the Lord, as he said. He's like, Lord, I just slayed 1,000 of the enemies of Israel. You know, I was only able to do that because of you. And he said, now in my last, moments, am I going to die from thirst? Am I going to die of dehydration? So the Lord had mercy on Samson. And like I said, in the hollow where he found that jawbone at, there was a hollow there, and the Lord filled it with water. Go ahead.
Come. And when he had drank, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof Enhakkarah, which is in Lahai unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years.
So after that, Samson's spirit came back on him. He was refreshed again. He named the place. You know what I mean? Like we used to do when the Lord did something for us or to us and helped us out and performed a miracle, we usually name the place he performed that miracle. You know what I mean? That's a tradition. There are many places over in the so-called Middle East that are named for spots that the Lord did miracles. You know what I mean? Delivered our people. You know what I mean? That's what we did. We gave credit to our Lord. And they said after that, Samson judged Israel. He was one of the judges of Israel. Judge meaning ruler. You know what I mean? For 20 years, Samson was on top. It came to him. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
The book of Judges, chapter 16, verse 1. And then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her.
And after 20, come on, man. So it just goes to show, you know what I mean? And then he ran into a harlot. Right. And what did he do? He laid down with this harlot. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Israel loves whores. Right. That's one of the, as you can see in society today, with thought culture. Right. Dude will kill you over thought. Right. He'll fight tooth and nail over thought, but won't lift a hand to help one of these beautiful sisters that's here in Isupk. Right. We're the ones that defend the righteous women. They defend harlots, whores and harlots. You know what I mean? That's an unfortunate thing. But as you see in the scripture, that's something that's plagued our people for, at this point, thousands of years. You know what I mean? That's a spirit that we got to get out of ourselves. Because Samson, once, you know, we're going to end it right here for time's sake and get into the prayer, the closing prayers. But Samson is a prime example of even how the strongest man can fall to the will of a woman. You know what I mean? And Samson, unfortunately, had a weakness for heathen women. Samson's whole downfall, from the beginning of this chapter to the wife that he just lost. You know what I mean? And I said Delilah earlier, Salakia, that wasn't even Delilah. Delilah's the famous downfall of Samson. But it started with his first wife. The first wife was a Philistine woman, a heathen woman who betrayed him. You would think after an instant, but they were newlyweds, and she betrayed him instantly. You know what I mean? You would think that he would learn. He just had to kill over 1,000 men. And in these first 15 chapters, in these first couple chapters alone, that you see the story of Samson, not only did he kill the men that came to his wedding, I think there was about 300 men at his wedding, wasn't it? So yeah, he killed the 300 men that tricked him. You know what I mean? And now he just killed another 1,000. So far, Samson had to kill 1,300 men because of heathen women. He said, well, I mean, the Lord, of course, is doing this. You know what I mean? The Lord knew Samson's lust. So as I said, he used this as an opportunity to get our people from up under these heathens. You know what I mean? He used Samson as an opportunity, Samson's lust as an opportunity to have an uprising. The Lord didn't tempt Samson. Samson tempted himself. Samson already had a problem to the point where his father said, don't you want any of the women of our own nation? And Samson wanted heathen women. So that was a big weakness of his that ended up being his downfall. Right. Go ahead.
That's why it's so important to do what the Lord said, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to marrying women. You like I don't want to say you're only supposed to marry women of your nation. You understand? It's a very heinous, diabolical act to marry, even our sisters marrying men of other nations. It's a despicable thing to do because we're spitting in each other's face and ultimately we spit in the Lord's face saying that who he created for us ain't good enough.
Right.
You understand? So it's better to marry within your kind. That way you don't fall to the lust, you know what I'm saying, to their lust and trying to appease them. You understand? And end up following after their God and stuff. You know that Samson always fell to the heathen women. Then the Spirit of the Lord came on him. You know what I'm saying? And then all these uncircumcised men would, look, you marrying daughters of these uncircumcised women.
Yep. It's like, oh no, you two are. And with that, we're going to end Sabbath service. All right.
Isupk is to stand, just us.
La Yashala.
Now we're going to salute the scrolls, starting with the men up here. The men line up in rank order once we salute the scrolls up here. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Barakiyah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Barakiyah. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Barakiyah. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Barakiyah. Raja, Hanabadam. We'll do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Quadat. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malabaka. Taba'ah. Ratazai. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashamayim. Elena. Cow. Yawam. What's the lucky now? I'm lucky now. That's lucky now. I'm on the side one. I'm shine now. My young. Rod. Kaya. Look up. I'm a lakwa. Para. Yahweh love you. I'm on. In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Like the power in Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh, Baba Kashad, Delana, Akak, Call Makallah, Call Matawah, Akak, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Akak, La'akim, Hamakim, Akak, Al-Kawa, the Garshon, in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, please give us the power, the power to heal, all manner of sickness, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you, so be it. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakna, Wayashala, Wahabaya, Sapari, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, what our mouth in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless us, and Israel, and the school, in the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you, so be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha, Ayanya, Ahahari, Maya, Yabaa, Isari, Ma'ai, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamaya, Baratazah, Ayatan, Nabawat, Regal, Al-Yanawam, Shamar, Yanawam, Wala'ai, Yayashun, Shawamar, Yasha'ala,
Yahweh, Shamar, Yahweh, Tazarka, Al-Yad, Yamika, Yawamah, Hashemash, La'ah, Yakayaka, Wayaraq, Balayallah, Yahweh, Yashamar, Lakarah, Yashamar, Ashnabaska, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'aka, Wa'aka, Ma'adan, Wa'ai, Allah. In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasharal shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this time forth and even forevermore.
Psalm 33 in the Hebrew. Allah
Allah Al-Damiyah, Lakab, Al-Dasharat, All, Kayahana, Awadi, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Hamika, Ya'arayamba, Sawadah, Wayada, Ya'ai Tazawah, Al-Tazawah, Amara, Lakawah, Wanakakedah, Magoya, Wala'ah, Yasakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Awadah, Kaya, Nawai Tazawah, Labah, Yakadu, Ali, Horya, Yakarak, Ahoy, Adawan, Wayashamad, Alayam, Mawa'ab, Wahagari, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalat, Parashah, Am Yashabis, Tazawah, Gam Ashawah, Nalawah, Imam, Hayawah, Zerawat, Labani, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadi, Kasayah, Sarah, Kiyabi, Barakar, Koyashawan, Nashamad, Bayan, Gairu, Hayawah, Yaman, La'agam, Sayadamba, Yadab, Yadua, Kaira, Wakazabat, Wakazalmanat, Call Nasir Kamba, Ashar, Amaru, Nayarusha, Nalawah, Na'awat, Alahayah, Sayadamba, Gagala, Kakwash, Yapundit, Rabakab, Ka'ach, Naba'ira, Ya'ira, Wakalahabba, Galahat, Hariyah, Khan, Damadapa, Wasa'ira, Labasa, Wapapa, Dabahala, Mala'ah, Panyaha, Kalawan, Waya, Wakwashwa, Shimka, Yahawah, Yabashwa, Waya, Wahol, Ayai, Waya, Kapar, Waya, Labadu, Waya, Gairu, Kaya, Adam, Shimka, Yahawah, Yabaka, Ayawan, Al, Rakasa. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden one. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Ball, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. But Sua is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like a red, and like Zaire. Yea, all their princes at Sabbath and at Zamun, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burning the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy temper, and make them afraid. With thy sword. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth.
Israel, Eman Shabbat, Eman Barak,
Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakah.
Yes, Matah, Sabbath service dismissed.
Kum Yashala!